the best thing that came out of this situation was to see the skill set that Shedeur Sanders put forward. And one of the things that I'm trying to figure out and trying to understand here is this. My grandmother always told me this when I was coming up. A bird in the hand is always worth two in the bush. Meaning that what you seeing in real time that you got is always going to be more valuable than what you project. You know, when you are in a position that the Cleveland Browns are in, and everybody wants to talk about franchise quarterbacks and whatever the case may be, the reality about franchise quarterbacks is we ain't seen one. Everybody want to talk about we have not had a sustained franchise quarterback here. So all of the talk about how you need to find one and what it looked like, we don't even know what that looks like. The second thing is we've gotten so tough into prognosticating mode and analyst mode that everybody is the next draft guru. We watch these draft blogs and then we start talking about, well, if you believe that he's a franchise guy, if you believe gravity don't exist and you jump off a building, it don't matter what the heck you believe. Laws is laws and physics is physics, my guy. The Cleveland Browns just saw a quarterback in the NFL, not college, the NFL. And let's be clear about this as well. At some point, we're going to have to stop moving and diminishing at every single point. That's another reason why y'all be getting touched up a little bit. I don't know why you wouldn't think you would be getting pushback, because I seriously remember, guys, when people would bring up how accurate Shedeur Sanders was, you would say that's college. When they say, hey, was Johnny Unitas Golden Arm winner? That's just college. You would then bring up how many stats of people in college were top in accuracy ratings and how none of them did anything in the pros, or how 500 yards against TCU really didn't count, or how 400 yards over here or 300 yards, that was college. It didn't matter. Okay. Throw that out. So you negated those things. But then this is irrefutable. The Rams game came around. All we talked about was the fact that he was running around getting sacked. You used that for months to say why he was not ready. Everybody came on and said it. It's verifiable. There's no way to run from it. Then he throws for these amounts of yards, right? He puts the yards up in a real game, in the snow, in his third start, while competing against the first overall pick and outplaying him. You get here to this point and you still disregard it. But you want to make people say, even though the performance of a college kid, and don't get me wrong, I like Mendoza. Some of y'all are a little higher on him than I am. I think he might be a good player in the league. But there's no way you can sit here and talk about 220 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, and you want to build this up to be the greatest spectacular game you've ever seen. But then a man in the NFL for your team against real NFL competition does things that no other quarterback, very few other quarterbacks in the history of the game have done as rookies. But you value lesser talent. I would say lesser talent. That's debatable for other people. I don't think he's as talented as Shedeur Sanders. But you validate lesser performances based on your affinity or your non or you're not seeing eye to eye with a fan base, or his people or the guys that support him are annoying. First and foremost, man, I'm not bending and bolding and moving my stance based on my emotion level. That's why sometimes we get in trouble here, right? If you don't think people are going to push back on you, if you're going to have hot take, you're going to be hot take guy, learn to stand in the fire. It get hot in that fish grease. If that's how you feel, don't be hot take guy and then be mad when people push back. That's what the comment section is for. Guys, let me introduce you to the internet. I've been over here a long time, and I understand that if you come from radio or television, you can move away and you don't have to take the criticism. If you're on radio, you just don't take calls that day. And then you could talk all you want to yourself. Maybe you don't read your emails from work, from the show. You can produce it any way you want to. But if you're going to be part of this internet, the movement, this is what it is. This is what it counts. Because those people's opinion are what's driving your views, your interaction, the way they view your content. It's a new wave. So I get that it may be a little different, but understand, I'm just giving you a little heads up. It's okay. Embrace it. But if you look at Shedeur Sanders and you look what he did, and I think Sean King had a good conversation. He said, look, he's not going to play like with 360 yards from now on. He's not going to do that. He's going to throw interceptions. He's going to play with sacks. Another notion that we got is that he needs to be playing lights out for the Cleveland Browns to even think about drafting. First and foremost, stop. I always go to it. You didn't have the numbers that he had in college. But if you want to diminish that and say it ain't all equal, it's cool. But the one thing you can't compare is somebody that's doing it in real time right now versus somebody you projecting coming from college. And when you look at the production and you look, even Mary Kay came on today and said his progression from week 1 to week 3, he progressing every week. And it is at a rapid pace. From the pocket presence to the deep shots, to the placement of the football, to the way he rallies his team, to the way he's eliminating mistakes and eliminating sacks, and the way all of these things. This is only third start. So imagine if he continues to get that work in, put that work in, learn his teammates better, understand what we're going to do. The best thing for anybody, including people who may be even not sold completely on Shedeur Sanders, is the fact that if you can fill some holes and you can get you a top flight receiver and you can get some protection and he can continue to get guys in their second year like Harold Fannin Jr., who's the best rookie tight end. He already broke the rookie record for tight end receiving yards. Shout out to Cam McKinley. Shout out to Bowling Green. Mac in the building. Quinshawn Judkins is on pace for 1,000 yards. Carson Schwarzenegger's defensive rookie of the year. Shedeur Sanders just threw for, he just had a crazy day. Can you imagine what you can do instead of us working against each other? What happens when we could come together and actually say, let's see what this man can do. Let's get the city behind him. Let's move and have everybody on one page. How's about letting a guy get the first team reps the whole offseason? How's about putting some receivers around the dude? How's about just us always coming together and figuring out, okay, let's put some energy. Let's put some confidence. Let's put the base around him. That's the thing that we need. For the last 6 years, we've been having this ain't the guy, this the guy, this ain't the guy, this ain't the guy, this the guy, this ain't the guy. So at some point, my hope is we one band, one sound. We get behind 12. We go get some pieces. We go with the youth movement and let's see how we rock out. And I said it before. He's the way you get out of it. Everybody talk about Deshaun Watson. To be truthful, he's the reason Deshaun Watson is workable. See, a lot of people don't be thinking, man. Like a lot of that noise and extra stuff be created in your own head. I still don't understand whatever. We just need to get rid of Deshaun Watson. Is that a bigger problem for the people in the media or the locker room? You think Shedeur Sanders got a problem with Deshaun Watson? Shedeur Sanders, he like, yo, he been big up. Why you think they got him in a mentorship role, right? See, it's a lot of people that's still moving on the allegations tip. It's a lot of people moving. Oh, they had to pay all these picks. If Shedeur Sanders is good, Deshaun Watson can sit right over there and be the backup quarterback. And ain't nobody got no problem with it. You know why? Because again, We got to get away from the narrative and get to the what we talking about. We ain't got no problem with that. Deshaun Watson, he ain't been no issues. He ain't been in trouble. He ain't been to jail, whatever. He's in the locker room rehabbing and doing his thing. This necessitates, and all this extra stuff about why he needs to disappear is completely fabricated based on your emotions. Because go poll the audience. Does the locker room have a problem with Deshaun Watson or just you? It's a question that you might want to ask. Because if Deshaun Watson going to be on this roster and I got to pay him his guaranteed money, I'm not about to cut him and then hamper myself to put a good team on the field just so I can say he's gone. That ain't how business works. And I'm glad the Cleveland Browns came out and said, listen, let's keep it pushing. We talk about what's happening on this field.